Hey guys, today I want to talk about the Model Context Protocol and the way you can leverage this MCP approach with your local IDE while you're developing different components and different applications. So what Model Context Protocol is basically a way for you to leverage different APIs inside your IDE, be it Cursor or any other IDE that supports MCP. I know for sure that Cloud Desktop does that, and Windsurf, maybe some other IDEs do that as well. So what it does is it basically allows your IDE composer to connect to different APIs available on the internet when you add them to your IDE locally, and basically hook different information from that place, from that API, and leverage it inside your composer in your IDE. So let's see the cursor directory as a basically a website that has a list of those MCPs available. There's also Smithery, which is basically the same. They kind of have some different MCPs, some are the same, but you can I think use both of these websites for some detailed instructions on how to use different MCPs available there. But I think what will be the highlight of this video is the Figma Context MCP, which is basically a context protocol that allows you to hook your local Figma file that you can share with the share link, the copy from here, or by I think copying and pasting the link to the selection here, which you can do with many other components here as well, and basically feed this design into your IDE, to your agent, for it to build the necessary component, necessary layout for you. So all you really need to do is to copy this selection here, then go to your IDE, just like I did, paste it here, give it some commands, and it will do the rest of the work for you. So I have to say that this is still in some sort of a beta mode, and as you can see, I have the specific instructions for the download method here. I had some issues with the download Figma images API endpoint there, and I had to manually ensure that it uses the necessary interface here. But yeah, what it basically does is it goes through the various instructions that it has. It, as you can see, it gets some data from the Figma, which is basically a list of nodes and different assets. It then creates the public directory for the assets to download. It downloads all the assets that are available for the specific design. As you can see, like it downloads the categories, the preview circles. So it basically it really sees the different lists available here. It actually tries to analyze the layout that you've shared with the agent. It then proceeds to create the necessary folders for the component structure. As you can see, it built several components here. I'm gonna move this in just a second. So yeah, it built several components here. It created really a modular structure for this Netflix layout clone. Yeah, it leveraged the rules that we have set it to use, but let's cover that later. So yeah, it created several components here. It gave a nice summary on what things it basically completed, and it told me that I can see the preview because it built the preview at the Netflix route here. So yeah, what it basically did is this. So this isn't quite the design that I fed into the agent, but I think it's pretty safe to say that it looks kind of similar here. So we can see the header exists even though it has a different size and all that stuff. The buttons are kind of wonky. The previews are pretty good, I think, but it actually did some extra work with the categories here. So on the design, you can see this sticky footer here, and there's also some other categories down below. What it basically what it created is several other categories. It kind of did some extra mile, I think, and then also some like tooltip components and whatnot. but it also built the footer here. So just by analyzing this page, it kind of created the header component, the action buttons component, the title for the page, the two different list of cards here, the circular and rectangular, and also the footer, which makes it up to like five, six component in total, which is what we see inside the app directory here. So yeah, on the first glance, this is just amazing. I have to say that you can improve the way that this tool and basically your agents work in the cursor rules, which is basically a section that allows you to guide the agent to use several or like many other rules for it when it creates the components when it works with the code base that you have. So you can see I basically just found some rules on the I think it was like cursor directory when yeah. So I basically just copied some of the rules that seemed nice to me, and kind of changed there a little things for me to match my style a little better. But what it basically did is it used all those rules. It kept it in the context when it created the components, and it effectively created the new layout for me to use. So I have to say that building prototypes and creating code fast and the things that weren't really that complicated before really became even more faster with this tool with MCPs in general. So yeah, the way that you can use the MCPs, I think it's in the MCP tab here. So what you actually have to do for the Figma, for example, you have this command that you need to launch locally in your terminal or whenever. So basically just open a terminal here, paste the command, use the Figma key that you can retrieve at the Figma website in the settings inside the security tab there, and then you have to add it in your MCP tab with the add new global MCP server. And what it will basically look like is just the like you have to add the name for your MCP, then the server link, the which is basically I think it's somewhere there. Yeah. So basically you would have to use the URL here and then paste the localhost 333 when your service is ready. I think they have an instruction for this, yeah, for this as well. So basically that's all you have to do. For some reason the like MCP interface isn't really popping up here, but I'm sure that you can figure this out for yourself. This isn't really complicated there. So yeah, I have to say again, like this looks pretty impressive. The quality of the code and the way that it kind of tried to integrate it into an existing system. It scanned the whole directory. It basically understood the necessary things for it to complete. Looks pretty amazing to me. So yeah, I think this pretty much covers it for the Figma MCPs. We have a couple more in the queue. So this is something called Cursor Tools, which is a different beast altogether. It kind of allows you to leverage several APIs, several MCPs with a single tool that you install. So of the features that are available to you is the Perplexity to do the research and use the Perplexity as a basically a searching mechanism to collect some data on your repository or some other things that you need to find. Then you can use Gemini 2.0 to basically do anything you want with the because like Gemini is probably one of the models that has which is I think a single model that has a token context of like a million plus or maybe like 2 millions, which basically allows it to keep your whole code base if it's not that large project it allows you to keep all your code base inside its context, and when it makes some decisions on your code base, when it suggests some things, it uses all the information that is available to it, which is like your whole code base, and it makes some nice additions to your code and some nice suggestions there. And there's also Stagehand, which is basically just a Playwright API. It allows you to use Playwright to create end-to-end tasks, launch the tests in your browser, like headless or like browser form, and yeah, record some videos, take screenshots, do whatever debugging it can do. But yeah, what it basically does is it can control the playwright from your agent and do the necessary things to like fix some tests or maybe create new tests inside the composer window in your IDE. So I have an example project here, which is just my portfolio there. And what I basically asked it to do is to research the things that are new in TypeScript 5.7. And as you can see, it provided a nice summary of the things that have changed. So it said that yeah, we can use the ES 2024 here, which is like a new standard for ECMAScript, and new compiler options, which created I think a lot of buzz in the Node.js community there, and yeah, some other improvements. I haven't really seen the I haven't really used the enable compile cache, but this is something from Node. Haven't really been working with Node recently. Yeah, so basically just a summary of the things that happened in the 5.7. And then I asked it to work with Gemini and analyze this current repository and see what things need to be added from the 5.7. As you can see, it improved on the request that I made there. It created a nice query for Gemini there. We can see that the Gemini responded with some information there. Can't really scroll it for some reason. Let's see if this helps. Um, yeah, this is the inquiry from the web. Where is the maybe it's in a different tool there. Oh yeah. So basically converted it to this terminal. Yeah. Anyway, so it queried the Gemini. Gemini responded with some data, and what it basically did then is it created some recommendations for my repository, which is to enable the verbatim module syntax. I need to research what this is. It suggested to change the module resolution to Node 16. I think I'm using some older version there, and I think we can use. Let's see what's the LTS. I think LTS is like Node 20 or maybe Node 22, which I think it could have done a little better there and suggested the most recent version there. And yeah, it kind of went through the general benefits for this specific upgrade. So I think it really allows you to see your code base through this agent MCP's eyes and understand what things need to be improved in your code base by leveraging this large context window that Gemini provides. So yeah, as I said, I haven't really used the stagehand there. I kind of set up the playwright integration, but haven't really played with stagehand. Don't really have any end-to-end tests neither, but maybe I will use this in some larger project that I'm working on. All right, so the next thing that I wanted to cover is the sequential thinking MCP, which is something that I found on Smithery. It has like the most installs there. And what it basically does is this is an MCP that has like different thought phases, and it kind of can deliver the like deliver different results, different thoughts based on like previous conclusions that it made with some other previous data. So what I asked it to do is I have a pretty basic repository here that has some, again, like basic authentication layer that doesn't really have any API integration. It just like stores some data inside Zustand store. So what I asked it to do is I asked it to apply sequential thinking and suggest how to improve the authentication process in my repo. So what it did is it kind of went through all this repository, analyzed all the files in there, and then as you can see, it pulled the same sequential thinking endpoint there and just passed like different thoughts in it to basically analyze the request more and better and understand what things need to be concluded and completed inside this repository to complete the request that I sent it. So I think it went kind of crazy with the output here. So what it basically leveraged is next OS beta for some reason. I'm not sure why, and then the OS core. I haven't really used any of those libraries there, so this would be something new for me, which is something that you have to keep an eye on because all the code that it creates, you really have to understand. Like you have to understand what basically each line does, unless you want to have some unexpected bugs in your code base. Because this is really just a tick and bomb there if you don't know what's happening in your repository. So yeah, I think it leveraged some basic, um, I believe, some basic Prisma integration with the next OS provider there. I haven't really, again, like I haven't really worked with those libraries, so this is something new to me completely. But what we have to keep an eye on is it basically provided me with the whole like process and covered all the details with this, I think, general integration of authentication for this repo. It also suggested some of the protected routes, which are I think I have the dashboard and the profile. Yeah, I think it leverages the routes that are available in this repository there. Um, it also used the Tanstack query, which is also available in this repository. So kudos for that. The Zolt to check and to validate the forms, and then the next safe action, which I haven't really used as well. I'm not really sure what it does, but I think it's something related to server actions for next. Yeah, anyway, so what it did is it created the protected route. It basically, yeah, created the protected route, leveraged the Prisma to have some DB and have some storage for all the user data, and it also used the next authentication to kind of process the whole workflow and data exchange there and allow the user to log in and sign up using this API. And then it also provided some additional recommendations there. So yeah, I think this sequential thinking model is something similar to the thinking models that are available with different providers like Claude 3.7. I believe also OpenAI has a GPT that has some thinking model there as well. Um, so yeah, anyway, looks great. I don't really understand the half of this code, but still, this looks really promising. Whenever you need to do some research and understand what things are still lacking in your repository, or maybe apply sequential thinking and kind of create the tech debt for your application if there are some things that might be missing. I think it also could help altogether with the Gemini model there to kind of analyze a new repository that you're coming to. So imagine you have a new job, you land a new job, and you open up a project and you need to understand what's happening there, like in the part of the application that you're going to be working with. I think using those tools is an absolutely impressive way for you to create some summary and understand what's happening in this repository, or like what things you need to look at first, what are the primary modules there that are necessary for you to understand, to imagine like you need to like create a new feature or maybe fix a new bug, because it often happens in large projects especially. So yeah, I basically I'm thinking that I'm basically done with the MCPs that I wanted to present. I also like installed the GitHub MCP, which is really nice. It allows you to basically create a repo, upload it, clone it, and then work inside this repo locally. I really found working with new repos easier for me is to basically have the project, have the initial structure for it. So like I need to install imagine like I need to install the Next.js with npx, and then add like tailwind there, and like set up the core structure there. And it's really easier for you to do this manually, because this is a context that is so large, and that like there are so many options that you need to choose, and it's not really easy for the agents to complete yet. Like they do it, but they do it with errors. So I found it easier for me to create the initial structure myself, and then have the agents work on it in parallel with me. So yeah, GitHub MCP allows you to work with GitHub API basically. You can create an API key at GitHub settings, and basically you're pretty much done there. The Sequential MCP, which I've just explained, the Google Maps, I haven't really used it. I'm still kind of interested in what it could do for me. The file system, I disabled it. So basically, agents have access to your file system by default, and especially if you have the YOLO mode enabled, which is a really nice thing that you have to keep an eye on. Yeah, where is it? Kinda lost it. So yeah, isn't it in the rules? For sure not. Maybe general. Um, yeah, weird. Maybe it's the auto run mode, not the YOLO mode. So yeah, anyways, the auto run mode it is something that allows your agent to run the commands on its own. You have to kind of be careful with this because it can like, I don't know, like push to your repo, or like maybe um, remove some files. I haven't really seen it do these things, but still I haven't really given it any commands to do that neither. But yeah, if you're working in a production environment, maybe it will be best for you to disable it and to kind of control it manually. Yeah, anyway, the magic is something that is an MCP that allows you to basically create components in your agent. As it says, it's V0 for MCP, and V0 is basically a tool that allows you to create components on the fly. So this is nice. I haven't really utilized it a lot. I found the Claude to be just fine with creating components, but if you're working in a new repository and you're building components from scratch, and especially if you're using Shadcyan or any other like large library for components, I think using Magic is great. I have to say that the free tier has like just 5 commands, or like 5 components um, available for you, so you can run it 5 times, and that's it. That's all the limit you have. But yeah, maybe you would be interested in checking it out. So yeah, the GitHub again, and the Figma, which is like disabled right now, but you can just run this server locally to enable it. So yeah, just a word of caution with the Figma and like all the other MCPs. This technique or like this protocol, I think it's still in some sort of a beta mode with the Figma, especially like I had some issues with the Figma MCP not having the download images endpoint available. And whenever you experience these kind of issues, you can just press the refresh there and like rerun the same command. So yeah, the whole like protocol toolchain is still in some sort of a beta mode, but still this looks like very promising, and I already applied it in my production code at my current job, and yeah, I think this looks just amazing by the looks of it. Yeah, of course, like it has some issues, like the cards aren't really perfect. The background there is kind of wonky, it's kind of stretched, but still, you can just step in and do all the necessary manual changes there on your own, which after you have the initial layout isn't really that much, especially if you're working with some new code or maybe some prototype that you want to have done and completed fast. So yeah, thank you guys, and see you. Bye bye.